are doing great. Under a variety of unique circumstances, many people wish to go to and work in the UK, but only for brief periods of up to 12 months. In this episode, we'll discuss a few short-term visas that can be useful for travelers and workers. So to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video till the end, hit the like button, subscribe and turn on the notification icon to be notified whenever we post new updates. Without any further delay, let's begin. The Seasonal Worker Visa. In the UK, there are 467,000 individuals employed in agriculture. According to statistics, there were estimated to be around 1.69 million temporary workers in the United Kingdom as of November 2022, compared with just over 1.45 million in January 2020, of which at least 55,000 of those are employed seasonally. For these seasonal positions, farmers mostly rely on employees from other countries. The first annual allotment for the new Seasonal Worker Program, which was introduced in March 2019, was 2,500 spots. Since 2019, the enlargement has been rising annually. There will be more than 38,000 visas available in 2023, plus another 2,000 for poultry workers. Most of the employees when the visa route started were from Russia and Ukraine. But now, a broad variety of ethnicities are represented in 2022-2023, including those from Central Asian nations like Pakistan. People also apply from India, Bangladesh, UAE and others. African nationalities like Nigerians, Ghanaian, South Africans and others are also accepted to the program. They are allowed to perform certain jobs like harvesting crops for up to 6 months a year in the culinary and ornamental horticulture industries. The Johnson administration claims the program for seasonal workers would last at least through the end of 2024, but the number of employees per quarter would fall to 30,000 in 2023 and 28,000 in 2024. Liz Truss, on the other hand, made a commitment to increase the quarter when she ran for the Conservative leadership position. Additionally, no declaration has been made about the plan's continuation after 2024. These visas are temporary with limited rights and extra safeguards. The Home Office is in charge of issuing seasonal worker visas. The immigration rules lay forth the requirements. Only a few recruiting firms or scheme operators are authorized by the government to set up visas for seasonal employees. Long-term residents in the UK are not permitted to claim benefits or bring family members with them. These documents must be used by farmers to hire their foreign workers and to demonstrate that they are actively looking to hire UK-based workers as well. They are unable to directly sponsor seasonal worker visa. Scheme operators have started responsibilities to ensure workers' welfare and fair compensation as part of the visa sponsorship agreement. Now, let's talk about the charity worker visa. For people who are given a job offer to perform volunteer work for up to a year in the UK, there is the possibility of obtaining a charity worker temporary visa. A spouse and minor children may apply as dependents on this path, and voluntary labor is permitted for temporary employees on charity worker visas, even though it is not a need for permanent residency. Your planning job must fulfill these requirements to be considered charity work under the temporary work charity worker visa. First, it must be unpaid fieldwork that directly advances the philanthropic objectives of your sponsor. This contains post-suits that aren't typically available for pay or income. It excludes auxiliary jobs like regular administrative, retail, or fundraising positions. Second, the labor cannot be reimbursed or paid for unless it is necessary to cover actual expenses incurred in completing your obligations. Last but not least, you must not feel that you are in a position that is required permanently or even briefly. To be eligible for a temporary work charity worker visa, you must have a valid certificate of sponsorship from the Home Office, a rated certified sponsor, unless you're looking for an extension to work for the same firm. In the previous granted leave to remain, the Home Office must have given your sponsor permission to fund the position through the charity worker method. The certificate must attest that the position you plan to fill satisfies the criteria for volunteer labor. The certificate of sponsorship cannot begin earlier than 3 months before the application deadline, nor can it have been utilized in a preceding application that was accepted. Moving ahead, you must possess cash in the amount of at least £1,270 that you have held for at least 28 days straight in the 31 days prior to your application in order to be eligible for a temporary work charity worker visa, unless you have been in the UK legally for more than 12 months. If your sponsor certifies on the certificate of sponsorship that they will provide you with at least £1,270 up until the conclusion of your first month in the UK, it will also be enough to meet this requirement. They will also need to show that they are capable of supporting themselves. The sum of £285 for your spouse, £315 for a child, and £200 for each youngster seeking for an independent status for a charity worker visa. Unless you can prove that you are not in the UK at all, you must submit your application for entry clearance via the temporary employment charity worker visa route from outside the UK. Finally, if your request for a temporary charity worker visa is granted, you will be able to enter the UK and remain there for a maximum of 12 months or the duration specified on your certificate of sponsorship plus 14 days. Whichever is shorter, up to 14 days before the start of your work, you will be permitted to enter the UK. You are only permitted to work in the position for which you have been sponsored. While you are free to volunteer for other organizations, you will be able to go to class for some courses. That is all we had for you today. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comment section below. Please hit the like button, subscribe and turn on the notification icon to be notified whenever we upload new updates. We will see you in our next video.